So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are again. It is time for the James Whale Radio Show, coming to you live across the universe. And may I just, before we start, say a big hello to all those of you from other planets, because I know as this goes into the ether, there are beings from other worlds. And I would just like to say a very warm welcome to all of you. I am James Whale, and if you wish to contact us here on Earth, all you need to do is contact me. And of course, if you stay listening to the program, we will give you a myriad of ways to do just that. But let's start the show with a little jingle.
James Whale, the voice of reason on the James Whale Radio Show.
Right, so the James Whale Radio Show is with us, and may we first of all say thank you to all those people who've made us continually in the top downloads of, what do they call it, Robbo?
The iTunes chart.
Thank you, matey, thank you. Rob, say hello to Robbo.
Hello, Robbo.
Yeah, say hello. He's the producer of this program, produced, of course, by Robbo. So we've got the competition on the show. Your chance to win. What are they going to win this time?
Another copy of your book.
Can we afford this?
Well, I think so.
Are you sure?
Well, maybe not. And a copy of the Ho 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 Merry Christmas CD and the
Limited edition.
Limited edition, and the Ashley Tuberty EP that we had on last week.
I thought what we might be able to do is get Paul Daniels to do a free show in your kitchen. I think we should do that. We'll also take callers on the show, of course, and if you are able to join us on the program, we'll give you a number to ring. Well, actually, should we give them a number to ring now?
Yep, it's 07... No, it isn't. It's 01 something. What number is it, James? What?
You're not very good at this, are
No.
you? I think it would be better... Actually, if we give a number out now, they might ring when they're listening to the program at a different time to that which we are doing the program at.
I've got it now.
Go on, then.
01771 230 1771.
01...
No, it's gone out of my head again.
Oh, for goodness sake, this is no way to do a professional program.
This
is no way at all. No way to do a professional program. Look, never mind. I've got some really important news that I need to talk to everybody about. I want to spend some time today talking about beavers, cocks, tits, and shags, because I think it's a very important thing to do, and so does a university professor. Actually, wants more discussion on this. Are you all right?
Are we allowed to say all those words?
Well, what are you doing on the floor? Get up, for goodness sake. Why have you passed out?
We can't say things like that on the programme.
Say things like what?
Tits and cocks.
Beavers.
Oh,
cocks,
don't.
Tits.
No.
Shags. Oh. Yes, it's important. We've got to talk about this. I'll tell you for why. Those people in the world of ecology are getting very hot under the collar because beavers, cocks, tits and shags have become words synonymous with naughtiness on the internet.
Yeah.
So, i.e., if you are looking up interesting facts because you are writing a thesis on the lifestyle of the beaver, all right, for argument's sake, then you put the word beaver into your search engine and you get things which are not small and furry.
Yes, you do.
You do, yes. And you have to be careful about this. Now, from this day henceforth, a beaver will be known as...
What?
A river dog.
Okay.
A river dog. Now, I haven't been following this story as closely as I should have been following it, so I'm not sure where cocks, tits and shags come into this. But obviously, for those of an ornithological bent, they probably do. But I think we've got to a situation now, haven't we, where we've got ourselves into such a fuss about words that they have now had to find new names for animals, birds, some insects as well, because their names are synonymous with, well, I don't know how to put this. I might have to put this fairly well. I'm slightly embarrassed, but human genitalia, in a way. Do you know what I mean?
I do, yes.
Are you following me?
I am now, yes. I wasn't before,
Yes,
but
good.
I am now.
No, but you are now. So this is an important subject. And we must actually give out a warning, to all those parents, and have to be careful, because if, for argument's sake, little Johnny came home and he was asked to do some homework about the beaver population, or maybe he had to look into the world of tits. Would you take this seriously? Right? Then it's going to be difficult. And this is why they're thinking now of changing the word. So beavers will henceforth be known as river dogs, and cocks, tits and shags, I'm waiting to find out, to be honest with you. But I think it is. And it's the same thing with names. It's the same thing with names, because I had an Auntie Fanny. And, we used to go round to Auntie Fanny's for tea on a Sunday afternoon. And when my brother's wife wanted to know who he wanted to name one of his children after, he said, well, what about naming her after Auntie Fanny? And it wasn't allowed. It was not allowed. So we had to go after my other Auntie Ella. Auntie Ella. So Ella is acceptable.
Oh, thank God for that.
Fanny isn't.
No.
So I just thought we'd talk about that, because funnily enough, this came to somebody sent this to me, and I can't remember who it was. So, but I would like to thank them, whoever found this story on the internet. Very serious. I mean, this all came about with a lecture being given in Geneva by a number of conservationists who were talking about the plights of different animals, and decided that they had to change, that the given names of certain things had to be changed, because otherwise people just began to be silly. And when putting, as I said before, putting the word beaver into your search engine, when you were trying to find out different things to do with the world and the lifestyle and the habitat of a beaver, you were getting things that you didn't really want to see. Not to mention cocks, tits and shags. So there we are. I just wanted to bring that out on the programme and make people fully aware of it. And if there is anything else that you think we need to be aware of, for safety's sake, then get in touch. You know how to get in touch. Just jameswhaleradio@gmail.com. That's the email, isn't it?
Couldn't they just send pictures of beavers to that email address?
Don't be naughty.
James Well Radio Show.
Right, listen, I've got a new feature on the programme. It's called Phone Roulette. I
Yeah.
put a number of well-known celebrities' phone numbers into the hat, spin it around, pick one out, and you ring them.
Okay. Could you pick
Are
one
you
out?
ready?
Now? Yeah, pick one out.
Okay, right, here we go. Right, Shane Ritchie.
Crikey.
Give him a ring.
Okay,
Ring him now. See if he picks up the phone.
all right, hang
If
on.
he picks up the phone, I'll talk to him. Don't you talk to him.
All right. Well, he won't speak to
Okay.
me, will he?
No, he won't speak to you anyway. He doesn't talk to the likes of you.
Okay, it's ringing.
Welcome to the
Right.
O2 messaging service.
Well, that's a good start.
The person you are calling is unable to take your call.
Ah,
Please leave your
okay,
message
hang
after
on.
the tone. When you record your message, please
That went well.
Shane, hi. It's James.
I thought I've hung up.
Oh, have you? All right. Okay, I was going to leave a message.
So we could pick a different
All right.
name out the hat.
Sorry?
Pick a different name out the hat.
Okay, right. I'll tell you what, let's try Steve Wright.
Steve Wright. Okay.
Okay, let's try Steve Wright. Try Steve Wright. Give him a buzz. He'd probably be asleep. He'd be furious. Oh, it sounds like he's away somewhere, doesn't it? Hello?
Yes. Hello.
Stevie. Hello, Stevie. James Whale, how are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm all right, James. How are you? I didn't recognise your number.
No, I know. That's because I'm on the radio at the moment on the internet. Are you cool to talk, or do you want to put the phone down?
What do you want to talk about?
I don't care, really. I've just got this new little feature in my programme called The World of Whale, broadcasting to the universe. And I put everybody's number in I know, and hey presto, guess who's came out?
Well, that's lovely. I haven't got any time to speak at the moment, though, to be honest with you, because I've got to go directly right now to be part of a commercial.
No, you can't
well,
do
it's not a
that.
commercial. It's a thing for Radio 2.
Are you allowed to do
I
that?
actually haven't got any time, and I apologise for it.
Well, I'll let you go, but you may remember a while ago I did say I was going to take you in the woods with a bow and arrow.
When have I got to go then, James?
Well, what about week after next? I'll give you a call, and maybe we can fit it up with a week after next.
Well, you've let it go completely cold now. It's going to be freezing out there.
No, but that gives us a good reason to dress up. We can put on lots of warm clothes, you see, and when we can have a fire, we can sit around the fire and toast marshmallows as well.
You are insane. I've got to go because I've got to go and do this promo thing.
All right, okay.
They're all waiting.
Are you going to
for
sing
me.
a song?
No, it's just a thing. I think it's for this thing called 2 Mail that we're doing. And it's just, it's like a campaign. You know the way they do commercials for Radio 1 or Radio 2, little kind of promo things. I've got to be in one of those.
All right, put your best deep voice on, don't forget.
I'm going to do that. Thank you, James.
Yes, okay. Right, well, I'll talk soon. I'll see you later, buddy.
Goodbye.
Bye. Ah, Stevie's off to record something for Radio 2. Well, it's nice. It works, so we'll try that again on another show as well.
You are listening to James and Rob on the James Well Radio Show.
Now, carrying on, by the way, we want to say hi to lots of people who've been putting the program out, including friends in America at Spitfire Radio in America, who like to give us a plug, so we'll give them one as well, all our friends in the US of A. But as I said at the beginning of the show, of course, there could be people listening to us all over the universe, because you never know. You never know. And to our good friends at talentgb.com, Audio Boo, and we're also now on justradio.net, coastradio.co.uk, mypicktv.co.uk. Not sure how that works. Sherbet Radio. Now, this is interesting, and Robbo, you can tell me why. The new station for London taxi drivers, High London taxi drivers, is now called Sherbet Radio. Why?
Maybe we can ask them. Maybe we should phone them up. We'll add them into the call roulette system for next week.
I think we should. Yeah. Poor old Stevie. I knew he was in the car. You could tell.
Very busy man.
Yeah. Got to do a commercial. TrentSound.com as well. So they're all putting the program out. And to those of you who are just listening to us from there, thank you very much indeed. If you just joined us, this is the James Well Radio Show, and it comes to you from it comes to you anywhere you like. Really, it comes out of your iPhone, your iPad, off your computer. And I'm told very soon it's not going to be too long before we'll have internet radios all over the place. Everybody was going DAB mad, weren't they?
They were. They're not anymore.
Am I talking to myself again? Quite often on the radio I get the feeling I'm talking to myself. I thought I had a producer somewhere.
I'm here.
But obviously not.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me there?
I can. Can you hear me?
Robbo?
We're literally sat across the desk at each other. I'm looking at you right now.
Well, why can't I hear you?
I'm waving at you. I'm talking. I can see your lips moving. Can you not hear me?
It's a glass panel between us. And
Have I died or something? Am I a ghost?
No, you're not. No, you're absolutely not. Now, let's do something a little more seriously. We put a couple of questions out on Facebook, and we might take some more callers, mightn't we, Robbo? Is that what you're looking at the moment?
I'm looking at the Facebook screen.
Okay, all right. So if we get some callers, we'll have a chat. You have to phone now. How would you feel about paying? I did this on the radio, actually, on the terrestrial radio program the other day. How would you feel about paying £10 charge to visit your GP, or a fine if you don't turn up? Lots and lots of GPs complain that they don't have enough time. And if you go to the doctor, quite often you do feel you don't want to be in there too long, because when you sit in the waiting room, it's absolutely packed with people. Now, one of the reasons it is so packed is that doctors get more people in than they can deal with. People make a booking to go and see their doctor, and then quite often they don't turn up, which means you get a bit of a sort of bottleneck. And there's not enough money. Listen, it has to be said, there isn't enough money going in. I know we all pay through our taxes, but there's not enough money going in to the NHS. How would people feel about paying £10? This is being mooted by those people who moot things. I often wonder what a job that is, to be one of those people who moots things. Is there such a word as mooted?
Can I be a mooter?
Yeah, you are a mooter. I've often thought you were a bit of a mooter. But this is an idea thought by one of those mooters in a think tank somewhere. They're suggesting, and doctors, by the way, it has to be said, some doctors agreeing to this, there should be a £10 charge. Every time you go to visit the doctor, there should be a £10 charge. And if you fail to turn up for an appointment without a good reason, you will be fined. And I put this out on Facebook earlier this week, and these are some of the responses. Jane Freeman, hello Jane, says, I'll be skint then. My 6-year-old has epilepsy, Asperger's and leg problems, already had to provide own wheelchair as not qualifying for an NHS one. I am surprised about that, Jane. As undiagnosed leg problems, and if he has seizures and aches or is asleep after I can't carry him, that's not taken into consideration. Fining people who miss appointments, if not valid reason, as patient in hospital, etc., would solve waiting time. Jane, yeah, and I think, listen, to be honest, if you have a child or if you yourself have a history of illnesses and you need to be seen regularly by the doctor, then I don't think there would be any kind of payment at all. But I think, if you need, I don't feel well, I've got a bit of a stiff neck, I must go and see the doctor, £10, thank you very much indeed. Otherwise, you go and get yourself some medicine, wouldn't you? But some people just want to go and talk to the doctor. Some people just want to talk to the doctor the whole time. Rob Kilty said, pretty scandalous suggestion, considering the British taxpayer already pays for the NHS via national insurance. Contrary to popular belief, healthcare in the UK is not free. Paying twice would be a scandal. But nothing would surprise me under this government. Thing is, Rob, we do pay, but the percentage of what we pay through our national insurance has not gone up, if you like, enough. And medicine is so much more expensive. If you want to get drugs, if you want to get medical equipment, it has improved so much since the NHS that it costs so much more money, which is why you find other countries charge people a lot more out of their taxes for their medical care. Christopher Poole, hello Christopher. Fine if you fail to turn up. It's a good idea, but to pay to attend, no. The NHS was and always should be free at the point of service. Anything else would put off hard-up people who, when they eventually went, would be worse than ever to treat, costing more money. It's a good point as well. Very good point. Thank you very much indeed for all of those. Now, have we got a phone caller or not?
Not yet. I've just put out the message that the £10 charge about the doctors is what we're talking about, so see if anyone can...
Oh, okay. We might get somebody on. Listen, this week's competition question for the competition. Or should I do the winners of the competition, actually, before I do that? Last week's winner. What was the question from last week, by the way?
What is the name of your Christmas single that you did?
Oh, yeah. We should play a bit of that, shouldn't we?
I'll play it over the top of this bit.
Are you going to play it over the top of this bit?
Yeah.
What, now?
Yeah.
Or would you do this in the final mix?
In the final mix.
You couldn't put it in now?
I could do, if you really wanted me to. I could go and...
Well, just, so I thought that would be quite fun. Does that mean you've got to go down to the basement, get it and bring it back up here?
Give me 2 seconds. Tell them about the winner. I'll see if I can get a clip.
Okay, so what we said last week for a signed copy of my autobiography, because we've got so many left in the garage, and a limited edition CD of Ho, 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 Merry Christmas with bells on. The winner, and loads of you are right, but let me stick my pen in the paper with the names on. Oh, there we are. The winner is Carol Stanley Foote. Well done, Carol Stanley Foote. And, of course, my Christmas single, released back in the 80s, was called Wrap It Up for Christmas. And it was rather embarrassing. But there we are. You will get a copy of my autobiography. We would send you a copy of Wrap It Up for Christmas, but I happen to think there is only one.
I've got one.
And yeah, I know, but I don't think we've got one to give away, have we? So poor old Carol Stanley Foote, who won, congratulations, Carol, knew that this was it.
A bit. Oh, this bit.
Go on, here we go.
It's a long intro.
It is. I could have talked all over this, like proper DJs do.
It's the holly and the ivy time of year. It's nice and peaceful in the studio till a bunch of carol singers try to get on the show. I say, hey, merry gentlemen, cut the ding-dong and I'll teach you the words of a different song. Christmas is crackers, it's just a promotion. Rudolph and Santa can jump in the ocean.
Christmas is fun and happy and funny.
It's just an excuse to part me from my money. You won't catch me giving Christmas cheer. Now sing the song.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Wrap it up for Christmas. Had enough, anyway. Carol Stanley Foote, what are you laughing at? God, that takes me back. I had a full head of hair then, I think. It said, wrap it up for Christmas. Well done. You win, as I say, a copy of the signed book and the limited edition CD. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas with bells on. But not wrap it up for Christmas. Now, this week's competition is quite clever. Now, you get the same prize. You're going to get a copy of my autobiography, because I've got to get rid of them somehow. You can, by the way, listen, if you want to buy one, very cheap, you can download the audio version. All right, if you go to Amazon or wherever, you can download the audio version of Almost a Celebrity. That's what the book's called, Almost a Celebrity, and download the audio version. And it's like having me on the radio the whole time. You just keep it with you, and you can drive in your car. I'll read it to you as you're driving. But if you want to win a copy of the book, right, then all you've got to do is this. No question. All you have to do, it's quite clever, this. Did you come up with this idea?
This is a brilliant idea.
Yeah, no, it's quite good. If you share the link to this show on Facebook, we will pick a winner from the share list. All right? So go to facebook.com, James / it's important that, always /forward. Go to facebook.com. I'm on something. I don't know what I'm on today. / James Whale Radio. All right?
Yeah.
That's all you've got to do.
Go there and then share the link for this show.
Yeah. And we will then, all the people who've shared the link with the show, we will come back and we will pick one out next week on the programme.
And you also win a copy of Ho Ho Ho, Merry Christmas with Bells On, and the Ashley Tubridy EP.
Good. Has anybody found out why Sherbet Radio is the radio station in London which takes this programme, Sherbet Radio, used to be the London taxi radio station?
That's right.
I just wanted to know, for all those taxi drivers at the moment listening to us, why is it Sherbet Radio? Don't know. Now, listen, do you think I'm going to have to call Steve Wright and apologise for rigging him up and putting him on the air or not?
They tried that on the Jonathan Ross BBC thing and he got into all sorts of trouble.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he's on, so it doesn't matter, does it, really? So, £10 charge to visit the GP. Your thoughts on that? Carrying on. Pamela Standen said, hello, Pamela. She said, having worked in both the NHS for the last 30 years, in the US healthcare system as a nurse, I mean no disrespect to the NHS, it's awful. Waiting 6 months for a knee replacement, no dialysis after the age of 60. I was told by a Brit oncologist that my dad couldn't have chemo because at his age, 82, it was a waste of precious resources. Yes, our system here is broken, but you can get surgery when you need it. All meds your doctor orders are filled without question, and chemo is available for everyone who needs it, regardless of age or ability to pay. I thought you didn't get treated in the States unless you could pay. Drug companies pick up a lot of cost for people who can't afford to pay. That's interesting. Pamela Standen saying she worked in the NHS here. Now she works in America, and it's better there. Unless, of course, you know something we don't. I think it's time for a bit of music on the show. What do you think?
I think so. What have we got?
Well, I think I'd like to play Lazy Days, okay? Written by John Hampson, but interesting vocals. I thought very interesting vocals by Dave Loughran. Now, if you would like some of your music on the show, if you're unsigned, you want people to hear your music, then all you've got to do is send us some, any way you can get it to us. Best place to send it to, I would think, is our email. Is that right?
That's right.
jameswhaleradio@gmail.com.
That's correct.
jameswhaleradio@gmail.com. What is it?
jameswhaleradio@gmail.com.
By the way, if you want me for a grand opening, a wedding, after dinner speeching, well, you know what I mean. Voiceovers, you can always get in touch. jameswhaleradio@gmail.com. Here's Lazy Days.
Looking back, times weren't bad. Another lazy day was passing by. Late to school, broke the rules. Those times are the best we ever had. Lazy days that went with no care. We were going somewhere, nowhere. Times went by, touched the sky. Another lazy day had passed me by. Doo-ba-doo, doo-ba-doo. I don't know where they went. Lazy days, they seem so easily spent. Hanging out, never sad. Those times are the best we ever had. Lazy days that went with no care. We were going somewhere, nowhere. Times went by, touched the sky. Another lazy day had passed me by. Doo-ba-doo, doo-ba-doo. Doo-ba-doo, doo-ba-doo. Doo-ba-doo, doo-ba-doo. Doo-ba-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I don't know where we spent. Lazy days, they went straight to our heads. Days were long, laugh with friends. No one told us lazy days would end. Lazy days that went with no care. We were going somewhere, nowhere. Times went by, touched the sky. Another lazy day had passed me by. Doo-ba-doo, doo-ba-doo. Doo-ba-doo, doo-ba-doo. Doo-ba-doo, doo-ba-doo. Doo-ba-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Looking back, times weren't bad. Another lazy day was passing by. Late to school, broke the rules. Those times are the best we ever had. Lazy days that went with no care. We were going somewhere, nowhere. Times went by, touched the sky. Another lazy day had passed me by.
So there we are, Lazy Days, written by John Hampson, vocals by Dave Loughran, and it's a bit of unsigned music, and who knows, it could be in the charts. You never know. Hopefully on the programme, by the way, in the future, we will be having more music, and we are going, I think, at some point to charge, but we are not at this moment, because in the new year, we are now looking at ways to finance the program. It's doing really well, and I think, what was it, nearly 100,000 downloads from last month, or 100,000 listens to the show last month. So thank you very much indeed for that, and thanks for keeping us up there in the download charts too, which is great. What were you going to say, Robbo?
I was going to say, can I put the heater on? It's really cold in here.
No, because we are so... Listen, do we want to keep this program going? We can't afford you to have the heating on, can we? Now, I was out last night, by the way. I don't know whether you've seen my tweets. You can also tweet me, by the way, at the James Whale. I was out last weekend working, and as Mrs. W took over my tweeting, and she seemed to be very popular. But don't keep asking for selfies of her, okay? It's not on. I just thought I'd mention that.
I liked your selfie.
I beg your pardon. Oh, did you get that?
Yeah, you put it on Facebook, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I did put it on Facebook because I thought it was particularly... I thought the composition of the selfie was rather good.
Really?
Yeah, I thought so. It sort of it had friendliness and warmth and a slight amount of menace.
Uh-huh.
That, by the way, going back to Steve wanting to come shooting, you know, I'm a very keen field archer. I practice with the longbow. Sometimes I can even hit things. And that's my hat I wear when it's cold. And Steve was talking about getting cold. He says it looks like a rabbit skin hat, doesn't it?
Well, I thought it had some sort of Russian roots myself.
Yeah. But it's actually nylon. So no animal, no beaver particularly, was hurt in the making of that hat. How did I get onto this? I have no idea. Anyway, I was out last night with Mrs. W. And we were invited out to go and see some new bands playing, some of which may well appear on this programme in the future, some really good ones. And on the way there, I have to tell you this because I was quite annoyed about this, and bicycles are a bit of an annoyance to me. Now, I don't mind you cycling, but I'd hate to think you're listening to this programme in your headphones while you're riding a bike, becoming oblivious to whatever is going on outside. And London's Mayor, Boris Johnson, has said he would like to see the wearing of headphones on bikes banned. I'm not sure that will improve things, but there we are. I went into London last night with Mrs. W, and as we were driving through South London, ambulance, you know, sirens going, everything else, came rushing through. All the cars pulling over to the side. Ambulance comes through. There are about half a dozen cyclists steaming along behind the ambulance. You know, using the fact that the ambulance has pushed all the cars to the side of the road, quite rightly. So these blokes on bikes zooming along as fast as they can, really close to the back of the ambulance. And if that ambulance driver had to make an emergency stop, wanted to turn very quickly because he had to go a different way, those prats at the back would have been all over the road. And hence another ambulance would have had to be called. I mean, the chilling statistics, by the way, in London at the moment, everybody, all the politicians that I can see anyway, are championing ride a bike. We've got new super cycle highways. In the last couple of weeks in London, 6 cyclists have been killed on London streets. 6 cyclists in the last couple of weeks. I think it was about 20 odd last year. Killed on the streets of London because of this wish for bikes to go everywhere. Now, I don't mind people being on bikes. In fact, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with people cycling, and it's really good, keeps you fit. Now, I think something has to be done about this, and it can't all be laid at the door of the motorist. What I saw last night were people riding bikes faster than was safe. Very, very fast. There are the cycle routes in and out of London, and people racing along them on their bikes, also coming far too close to cars and doing silly things like undertaking, trying to cut in front of them, and it has to stop. Now, obviously, we drivers have got to be doubly aware of bicycles and during the day as well as during the evening. But one thing that could help is that if every cyclist had to be registered and there had to be a number and they had to be insured. Now, the way you would do it is this, in my view, and if I'm wrong, fine. And I've mentioned this on various radio programs before. But why? And I am concerned. I'm not for or against anything. I am just for sensible, respectful use of the roads by everybody. But at the moment there is this big them and us, and there's a huge cycling campaign to sort of have a go at motorists all the time. And at the back of their mind, they've got this idea that they are saving the planet because they are not using fossil fuels. They're not, this has got to stop. If you live a few miles away and you can ride to work, great. I used to cycle when I had a show on Talk Radio about 10 years ago, 15 years ago probably now, and I used to cycle from my home in East London into the middle of London, in the West End. I used to cycle there and do the show and cycle back. And I cycled, most of the way I cycled down was along the Thames path and kept off the road as much as possible. But now we've encouraged everybody to be on a bike if they can. Now, if you live close enough, great. But there are always going to be people who need to drive. And the idea that anybody drives into London for fun, as I found last night, is ridiculous. I went to London. I had to go and do some stuff in London. I had to drive in and drive back for all kinds of reasons. There wasn't a train going when I wanted to go, and it would have taken far too long. I'm amazed at how dangerous people seem to behave on bikes. Now, I wonder if it is because they think they can get away with going through red lights. They can get away with riding up on the pavement to go around Pelican Crossings or whatever it is. If everybody had to wear one of these high visibility waistcoats, or what do they call them, tabards, maybe that's a good idea. Maybe that's what people should do. You have a number, you get an insurance number, you get a registration number, and whether you're renting your bike from Boris or whether it's your own bike, you have to wear, as a matter of law, this high visibility jacket that has your registration number on the back, and it has to be visible. It's an idea. I put it out there, or as Her Royal Highness Princess Anne says, I chuck it out just for you to talk about it. But something has to be done. 20 cyclists killed on the streets just of London last year. 6 within the last couple of weeks. And there has to be more respect. Now, I'm not saying that wagons, cars are always doing the right thing. Blatantly, they're not. But so are a lot of cyclists. And to end this story, and if you want to get in touch on Facebook, tell me your thoughts on this, feel free. Just to end on this, coming back out of London, driving along the Old Kent Road last night, and what should I see? Seriously, what should I see? But a policeman had pulled up a cyclist, and it looked to me, I was sat at the traffic lights, they were at the side of the road, and it looked to me like the policeman was breathalyzing the cyclist, which I've not seen before. So, Robbo, you be very careful.
I've got a bike.
Yeah, well, most people have got a bike.
I don't use it.
But yeah, I'm sure you don't, because I've seen pictures of you, particularly modelling the new James Whale T-shirt.
We've got to get money somehow.
Yeah, well, I know, but I would have said, and they're very nice. How much are we charging for those?
Oh, I don't know. We haven't sat it down and done.
Haven't we? Oh, right. Okay.
Cost
we
analysis and all
But
that.
the only thing I thought is the picture still there somewhere.
Yes.
The only thing I was concerned about was that you modelling it is going to put people off.
Thanks.
I wonder if people want to get in touch and let me know who they think should be wearing the James Whale T-shirt when we do the ads.
And then we can send them a free T-shirt.
Did I say thanks to talentgb.com, Audio Boo?
You just did.
Sherbet Radio, Trent Sound.
You did.
Coast Radio, Just Radio.
You did.
And any radio station who would like to take us, just get in touch. How do they get in touch?
Either by visiting our Facebook page or emailing jameswellradio@gmail.com.
If you would like to hire that super celebrity James Whale for your after dinner, for your wedding, for your speeches, for your voiceovers, and for your media training, jameswellradio@gmail.com, the one-stop shop for everything James Whale. Oh dear. Right, okay. Have we got any callers?
No, they're all being.
I don't understand that. I thought everybody was saying they wanted to come on and talk on the show, and now they've all disappeared.
No, we could try phoning Shane again.
All right, let's try phoning Shane. Give Shane a ring, see if he wants to come on.
Okay.
All right, give him a ring. And then I might talk about Vickers. I think I will talk about Vickers, actually. Karen Cook says, by the way, on the subject of women bishops, Oh, hang on.
Welcome.
Hang on.
Messaging service.
He's a busy man, is Shane.
Recording is unable to take
Yeah.
your call.
Shane. Sometimes what Shane does is, if he doesn't see a number he knows, he just he won't answer. But I'll tell you what, I'll try and get him on next week's show.
Okay.
All right. So listen, Karen Cook says, it's all well and good having such skepticism over religion if the skeptics are humanists, not scientists. Science will never be able to teach morality or kindness to one another by allowing the death of Christianity in this country. You are opening the door even wider for Islam. You see, I find that's a problem, Karen, because that's what's caused wars forever. There's two questions here. One I was asking on the radio the other day, and that was, would it upset people if women were allowed to be bishops in the Church of England? And it looks like they're going to be bishops in the Church of England now. And that, let's put that aside for a bit. But the ex-Archbishop of, I think Canterbury, wasn't it? George Carey. He reckons that if the Church isn't careful, then it will become extinct in one generation. Which if you have a real faith or a belief in something, and I think that's really good and that's nice, and I'm very glad and happy for you, and that's as it should be. But not everybody does, and even if people do, they have different beliefs. And a major religion seem to have spent their entire times and history fighting each other. I was watching a program on the television the other day about the English Civil War, which was basically a war between the Protestant Roundheads and the Catholic Cavaliers. And again, the things that people do to each other in the name of religion. Now, I know you're going to tell me it's not religion that starts wars and everything else. No, and I'm sure it's not. But it gives people an excuse. And I think we can be moral without believing in something that we can't prove one way or the other. But I had this discussion on terrestrial radio the other day, and people were saying, one guy rang me and said, I'm a Christian, James, and it doesn't really matter what you're talking about because it's all written in the Bible anyway. I said, what? He said, well, towards the end of time, which apparently we're coming towards the end of all time, which is why, of course, at the beginning of the program, I appealed to all those beings from other worlds to come and look after us. Then we all forget religion. Religion becomes unimportant. The only thing is, the interesting thing is, if I'm correct, Islam is 600 years or something like that newer than Christianity. Christianity was around about 600 years or so before Islam. So maybe Islam will last another 600 years after Christianity. But does it matter? No. Can't we all just get on with our lives? If you want to believe one thing, fine. And if I want to believe one thing, great. Can't we just all get on without this aggravation? Kev Lataxi. Hi, Kev. By the way, you know Kev. Good bloke, Kev Lataxi. I haven't spoken to Kev for ages. Kev says, people are becoming freer and more aware of the reality around them. Religion is completely man-made, he says. If anyone has an interest in archaeology, then they will know that the Dead Sea Scrolls contain many sentences that were added to the Bible and later the Quran. The scrolls say, among the lines of God is within you, and you don't need to go through a man of God like a priest, vicar, imam, etc., or go to a church, mosque, temple to worship him, her, or it. You'll notice that all religions have omitted it from their religious books as it would be self-damaging. Christmas is one day a year where people buy a pile of gifts just to look as normal as their neighbour. But in fact, I would suggest celebrating your family and life every day and buy random gifts for those you love rather than falling into that miserable corporate revenue-raising exercise called Christmas. I digress, he says. Yes, you do, but I do that a lot, Kev. Christianity is dying, but I would put it down to the progression and evolution of the human mind. We're not so gullible anymore. We don't need anyone telling us how to be a good person. We know when we're in the wrong because our heart will naturally beat faster. Our human instincts are amazing. Long live peace and logic. That was good, that, Kev. Very good indeed, mate. Thank you very much indeed. I feel like a tune coming on.
Tune.
A tune. I think it's time for another piece of music.
Who have we got this time?
We've got Ryan Cregan. His EP, Natural Disaster. Cheer us all up. He's from Blackpool. And this is called Too Young.
Like marching bands we start to rust, swimming in the rivers of dust. I make my mark in the mid-morning sun. Like loaded guns we fire off prematurely, immaturely. Catch me, na-na-na-na, find me, na-na-na-na. We're too young for this now. Chase me, na-na-na-na, love me, na-na-na-na. No, we are just kids. Two addicts we start to shake. Withdrawal symptoms from your love. Like the venom from a snake. It kills me, you kill me. Catch me, na-na-na-na, find me, na-na-na-na. We're too young for this now. Chase me, na-na-na-na, love me, na-na-na-na. No, we are just two kids now. Catch me, na-na-na-na, find me, na-na-na-na. We're too young for this now. Chase me, na-na-na-na, love me, na-na-na-na. No, we are just two kids. Na-na-na-na, na-na-na-na. We're too young for this now. Na-na-na-na, na-na-na-na. We are just two kids.
So there we are, Too Young by Ryan Cregan from his EP, Natural Disaster. Thank you, Ryan. Listen, if you want your music included on the programme, get in touch, James Whale Radio at gmail.com and let us know, and we'll try and get you on the programme. Also, we started off the programme by talking about Beavers, Tits, Cocks and Shags, and that was a story that came in from a listener. And you can't remember the name of the listener, can you, who sent it in?
No, I can't.
You haven't got the email, no, which is a great shame because I'd like to thank them. We need some more good stories to talk about on the programme. Now, obviously, we'll do some of the news stories of the week, but we also want some more unusual stories and some suggestions as to things you would like to hear on the programme. So please get in touch. JamesWellRadio at gmail.com, our new email. So you can get in touch there. You can Facebook us, of course. You could tweet me at the James Well. Get in touch and tell all your friends about us as well. And anybody after in the new year, hopefully, we might even, depending on finances, we might even go twice a week. Might even extend the show to 2 hours. I don't know. And we might have some more music in it. What do you think?
More music's good. Just send it in.
So before we go, let me remind you of the competition. Very simple competition this week. So simple. I'm not even sure if we were on terrestrial radio whether we'd be allowed to do this. There we are. Right. You will win a signed copy of my autobiography, Almost a Celebrity. And if you, don't forget, by the way, if you want, you can get the audio version. Just go to Amazon, Almost a Celebrity, download, very cheap. The audio, I spent 4 days in a small studio in, I can't remember where it was. Chichester. Believe it or not, it was in Chichester. I had to go to Chichester, where this small studio was that they do these audio books, and downloaded the book. So I think the least you can do is at least get hold of it, because I read the whole thing. It takes a few hours. Now you can just listen to a bit. You could have 10 minutes before you go to bed, couldn't you? I digress. So the competition this week to win a copy of the ordinary physical book is this. All you've got to do is share the link to this show on Facebook, and we'll pick a winner from the share list. Just go to facebook.com/James Well Radio and do that. What? hang on. I'm just being told I'm just being told by the producer. Not only do you win my book, you win. Hang on. What you tell them, Robbo? What else do they win?
Yeah, they're going to win a limited edition copy of Ho 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 Merry Christmas with bells on.
Yeah.
And the Ashley Tubridy EP that we played last week.
Right. And you're getting paid for giving those away as prizes.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Oh, good. And a big shout out to my mate Charlie and everybody at Pimlico Plumbers. Do you ever see, if you live in London, you see Pimlico Plumbers? I turned his Christmas tree lights on, and
at his house.
No, at his factory in Pimlico. But I know all of Pimlico Plumbers actually listen to us when they're driving around London fixing the U-bends of the nation. There's no answer to that, is there?
No, there isn't.
No. So anyway, thank you very much indeed. And as I said, if you want to get in touch, if you've got anything you can do to help us finance the program, jameswellradio@gmail.com. And what I will do is I'll tell you what, we'll do a competition to give away a really good big prize, not just my book. Maybe give me away. Maybe we should do that. I'll leave some secret words in the program, so I will know that you've listened to the whole show.
That's true. You could give you away. You could attend somebody's house on Christmas Day, carve the turkey. How's that for a competition?
I could do, but I shall be on BBC Radio Berkshire on Christmas Day.
Oh,
I happen to know.
You're working.
Listen, what?
You're working.
You come over there. Yeah, I'm working.
So I have to go there.
Yeah, you're going to have to come down there for your Christmas drink.
All right.
I know. It's a blow, isn't it? Anyway, listen, thank you very much indeed for listening. We're back next week with a brand new show. Usually comes out on Friday. In the meantime, as I say, tell your friends. Say goodbye.
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 James Well, the voice of reason on the James Well Radio Show.
You're listening to the James Well Radio Show. For more information, visit www.jameswellradio.co.uk. Why not check us out on Facebook.com/James Well Radio Show, or follow James on Twitter @the James Whale. James Whale, the voice of reason.